good has it been to have a few days, a bit of training, a bit of time, actually get out on the pitch and sort of work in that respect rather than be playing game after game?
Well, we give them a few days off. To be honest, we have training, of course, as well. But I think it was a game every 3 days, and I think sometimes you just have to take a step back from it, and so hopefully the break with their families and stuff will have benefited them. We did train Tuesday. Obviously, we've got 2-day build into the game now at the weekend, and hopefully we'll be re-energised and fresh, and bring the best version of ourselves hopefully at the weekend.
As you said, you gave them a few days off. Does that suggest that it's mental as well as physical that they need a break?
Listen, the only reason they get a day off is the mental break, really. I think physically they're professional athletes. They have to be able to play football every 3 days. They play every day anyway, but a 90-minute football match they have to be able to do it. So, but we had been on the road along. I think there was I said to you that I didn't really want to talk about fatigue, but just sitting on the bus for 6 hours is tiring, and then playing a football match. So it's not necessarily the game that gets you tired. It's just all the travelling. We've been to London 3 times over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I think it just needed away from the building for a little bit, really, away from football. And because as that meeting there, we were just having a laugh in that office. It's so intense. It's the next game's coming, and every single game brings its own challenges, really. I sat and watched Stoke the other night, and thought they played really aggressive on the front foot against a really, really top team, and yet they made 9 changes apparently. And so, watching the game, I think it gives you the intent of the team that's coming at the weekend. But if he'd made 9 changes, it suggests that he was thinking more about league points than cup competition. So yeah, we and obviously Alex, with the history of helping with his scenario of getting the team back into the championship, and his period of time here, it'll be I don't know the best adjective. Will it be interesting the weekend? So let's see. It'll be an intense football match, I'm sure.
You said you described what you think of the Stoke team there. There is the situation with Alex Neil coming back, which is absolutely nothing to do with you, but it is going to be part of the narrative on Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah. I suppose. Listen, I went back to Middlesbrough. I've been back to Blackburn. Teams that I spent a good few years at, and I think for the individual, for Alex, I'm not sure whether he's looking forward to it or there's a bit of trepidation. I'm not sure. He'll just want his team to reflect what how he wants them to be, and for us, we've got our own targets. Really, we've lost a couple of games last week, and we need to get back to winning ways. And so I'm pretty sure it will be a good football match, or a very intense football match. And and I think the opposition manager on the other side, it's irrelevant to what really goes on the pitch, really, and we have to find a way to come out on top if we can. But they'll be very, very determined to pick up points. They're a very attritional team from what I've seen. They get the ball forward early. I think Stoke City, historically from the Tony Pulis days, really, have always been a difficult, hard-working, honest team. And my mind's still set of Stoke being a little bit like that, really difficult team to play against. Get the ball forward, put it in your box, ask questions of you, run hard, and from the bits I've watched of them, they're not too far away from that. They've got good athleticism, and I think it'll be a difficult game for us, as every game is. Bristol City at home, the last one, look how well they're doing, and yet they're not in the top 6 flying high, but they're a real, honest, hard-working team, as just about every team in this league are, and so there's no easy games.
Alex Neil will get the reception that he gets from the crowd, but you inherited a squad and a situation at the club that was at least partially due to his good work. I mean, he actually did quite a lot for the club.
Yeah. Listen, and that's the fine balance, really, of for whatever reason he made a decision, and he moved on, and but it'll go down in the history books of the football club that he was the manager that got this club out of League One and back into the Championship, and hopefully back on an upward journey towards the Premier League at some stage in the future. But and that is not an easy job to get out of that league. When you look how tough it is this year in that league, I'm sure it was just as tough last year with some really big clubs in the division, all sort of scrapping and fighting, and with huge expectation, and sometimes the expectation can weigh you down, and they managed to overcome that and get the job done.
Just obviously with no midweek game as well, is it helped just with bumps and bruises and getting people a bit more close to sort of top levels?
I think psychologically and physically, I think the bumps and bruises, yes, of course it helps that they don't have to get strapped up and go back out. I think more mentally for us, just to take a break from the 3-day games and be ready for the weekend and know what's coming, and sure the supporters will be ready for the game, and we have to find a performance level that makes it difficult for Stoke on the day, and we can get 3 points.
Alex, hello, Jerry Jackson. Beg your pardon, sorry, Tony. I've just talked about Alex there. One more question on him. If he gets a bit of a hot reception, energy in the crowd, do you think that might help the players a little bit? Whether or not he deserves it himself?
I think the atmosphere is always pretty good here. Generally, teams come and try and slow this game down and make it pretty. Lots of stoppages, take too long for goal kicks, roll over and get the physio on, calm the crowd down. Now, you know, I'm not sure of the mentality of Alex coming into the game. Having managed football teams against his teams a lot over recent years, he was only just down the road at Preston North End for a long time while I was at Blackburn Rovers, and what I do know is teams are always intense, and I feel it'll be they fight for every ball. They're very, very competitive, and I think the crowd will get wrapped up in the match as well as because of what goes on the field. Really, I think it will probably be feisty, and our crowd will be very supportive of the team, I'm sure, and we have to make sure we turn up on the day and represent the colours of our club, really, and I'm sure Alex will have his team very wound up as well.
Notwithstanding that, Stoke have lost almost half their games this season, haven't they? They're certainly not safe from the drop. Would it be fair to say this is the kind of game you really need 3 points from if you're going to make up that lost ground on the playoff places?
I think every game is points available for us. You know, the previous 2 games that we managed to not get 3 points in, it's really frustrating for us, because you look on them on paper in the games, teams below us in the division that we should be trying to win and be positive and aggressive, and for whatever reason on any given day it doesn't work out for you. The intention is to win every game, whether it's Stoke City this weekend or Norwich City the following week away. We'll intend to go and win the football match, but every team in this league generally has something to fight for and play for, and I'm not sure there is Alex coming back to Sunderland. He'll have his team wound up, but again, I don't know whether they're looking over their shoulder. They have to win a few matches as they move forward, and for us, we have to try and make up the ground that we've lost in the last week by dropping, losing 2 games. So I think I haven't really looked at the table, but I think we're 4 points outside. 3 points at the weekend, we could find ourselves 2 points outside, and still with 11 games to go, we're still everything to play for. But you can't keep losing games, of course, and so we will try to get back to winning ways at the weekend, knowing that we're still very, very much in touch. If we wanted to start the season now and say, right, you want to start with 12 games to go, you're only 4 points off the playoffs, then we'd have probably all taken that, I think. So we can get disappointed that we haven't picked up any points last week, but we still got a great opportunity to show what we're all about as a team, and I think everybody's working really, really hard. I said after the game the other day, I felt we just didn't quite have the tools to get the job done, and we can all sit here and be disappointed. Ross Stewart isn't here. Ellis Sims went back to Everton. All of them, it's history now. We have to get on with what we've got. Now, I've always talked about trying to find a way to score goals without out-and-out strikers, and like when we had no defenders really, when all the centre halves seemed to get injured, you have to find a way to try and keep clean sheets, and that's what we're doing. So we'll keep going, keep working hard. Try to impose our style on the opposition. We have to play the way we play because of the type of players we've got, and that's what we'll continue to do. And but find a way of trying to bring a cutting edge to the possession play that we have.
Is that the sort of thing you've been working on the training pitch, then, that cutting edge that you've maybe lacked a little bit of recently?
Trying to. It's very. Listen, I've always said it's very difficult to change the natural habits of footballers. They're a footballer because from being a very small kid, they've done the same thing. So they've either been a dribbler or a physical player who likes to run without the ball, or a great passer. It's very difficult to change the habits in a short period of time of a team, because the players will do what they do. And so we have a lot of very technical footballers who like the ball to feet and like to manipulate it and try and slip people in and play 1-2s. And we in my mind, we haven't quite got the balance of footballers to benefit from the really technical players we've got. And again, if I go back to Ross Stewart likes to run in the space behind defences. He wants to be slipped into the gap behind the centre halves and run, get his body across them, hold them off and smash it in the net. And at this moment we don't have enough people in my mind who want to run without the ball in behind the opposition. We've got loads of players who want to get the ball and dribble and look for somebody who they're going to slip in, but we are just trying to find a way of exploiting the space behind defences more. And once we crack that, or we can repeat on the training ground, and it becomes more natural to the players on the pitch on match day, we'll start scoring more goals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.